Welcome, gamers, to this week's episode of Lastcallgaming. This is lucky number 11, and
hey, we out here.
We out here. My name is Craig Prowse, and joining me, as always, is Mandrew Montemare, the pound drinker, the quick thinker, the slow on return Andrew. Andrew, how is your day going?
Well, a lot better now that I'm getting all these compliments, but
well, I'm a compliment-giving kind of guy.
Well, we out here.
How was your dinner earlier?
Oh, dude, that burger was pretty fire, though. Those margaritas are really where it was at, though. Yeah. I feel like that was the highlight of my very long day. Especially ready for this weekend. I'm ready to do absolutely nothing this weekend.
I've been looking forward to a Saturday, Sunday where I don't have shit to do forever. So this weekend, I'm actually really excited for. So
I'm not waking up until like 3 in the afternoon tomorrow.
No one bothered me until 4. But guys, let's get into some news. We are here to discuss the newest game in the Tom Clancy series, Ghost Recon BREAKPOINT, and I'm going to start off by saying I don't like the name.
I think maybe it would have been better with Point Break instead of Breakpoint.
Breakpoint just seems so kind of like, okay, like, or Breaking Point or something like that. But
well, I'll tell you that the name matches the gameplay as it looks right now because
broken. It was shit to a point.
Yeah, the name suits that to a fact because it seemed like that system was pushed to its breakpoint because it was chugging along.
It was chugging. So let's start with the trailer and the footage, right? So we got to see the trailer launch for it. We got to see some gameplay footage. They kind of showed off some of the mechanics. Andrew, you saw it. You watched it. What are your initial thoughts?
I liked some of the aspects of it. Like, I don't think we have, besides maybe, Hitman, there's not really any other big, like stealth shooters out there. Mm-hmm. So if you can be really stealthy about it, because I mean it shows a lot of time, like he's out there, it's got cool animations, sneaks up on the guy, stabs him in the throat, no one's like any the wiser. So if you can be like, maybe not gameplay wise as Metal Gear, but if you could stealth a whole base and just kind of be perfect about it, that would be really cool. So I mean that's something that I'm super into, because I always liked that aspect of things, because I liked trying to stealth through as much as I can, and then once I get caught, then that's when it turns into a shit show where maybe I have my backup plan. Yeah, I'm trying to run through, get whatever, get out. So, I mean, there's lots of cool aspects to it. There's things that I don't like about it, and I've never really played like a huge Ghost Recon. I have Wildlands that I got, and I hadn't even touched it, but I think it's because a bunch of other big games came out at the time.
Right.
So I just never really had a chance to. I mean, I think it'd be a cool game that you and me could play, though. If it was something you were into.
I'd be down to try giving it a go. I don't know, looking at that trailer and look at the footage, and I know it's like alpha demo gameplay.
It specifically said alpha footage on there, too, so.
To me, it just looks kind of rough, does it not? Does it look like it's lagging at points and not... Obviously, it's not fully built, and I guarantee it's going to be better when it comes out, so there's no questions about that. But for a 30-minute launch window, I think we were talking about it earlier, it looked to me like a really good Xbox 360 game. Like, I don't really know what I was looking at in terms of why this is going to be on the Xbox One. I don't know. I thought it looked a little
I can see that sometimes. Like, I'll admit, like, so I've seen some games with some rough gameplay footage, but maybe it's just kind of now. I don't know that this has been the first one that I've ever really seen that I just can't stop nitpicking it the whole time I watch it. I'm like, this just doesn't look good. Not even so much graphically wise, but like all the little clips and all the like weird little glitches and weird little things that I was like, I don't know. That's kind of just like taking me out of it. And I don't know if it's now because at the tail end of this generation being spurned by so many games that I don't want to be spurned again. But I mean, it did say alpha, so I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
but does it have me hyped up, ready to go, like I'm going to go pre-order it right now? No.
Yeah, because I don't think any of the gameplay footage that they were showing, at least what I watched, I don't know if maybe there's something else out there that I've missed, but the footage was kind of slow. I know they were trying to show off the mechanics, but it just looked slow. The mission didn't look like it was really doing anything, so... And that's not saying the game's going to be bad,
sped that up
but
a bit,
the footage, from what we got to see, I didn't think was anything to be very impressed about, anything to brag about, especially for how long it was. But, that's the minor little thing I can talk bad about it, because the features on the game look cool. I thought it had some really...
I feel that's the bread and butter is where it's going to be at.
So let's break that down. They had a couple things that they were doing, and I thought one of them that was actually really cool is the injury system now. So your character can actually get hurt, shot, and you're not instantly recovering from it. You actually have to figure out a way to heal yourself.
Yeah, you're not just jogging off a bullet to the leg. Your guy will start limping, or his arm. I think it said, like, I don't know if you can aim correctly.
Yeah, right. You can't hold the gun right anymore, which makes sense. So it's kind of cool that they're taking it to a more realistic approach, right?
I think maybe they should, and maybe, who knows, because then maybe it would have made it too tedious. That I don't know how it would have worked out. But I kind of like Metal Gear Solid 3, the same thing. Like, if you have, like, the slugs in your body, you have to, like, burn them off. Or, like, when you get hit in the leg with the dude's, like, bullet bees, you have to, like, dig them out with your knife and do the special little things. On this one, it looks like he's just bandaging it, which I guess on the whole for a game like that probably would work better than, oh, man, I don't have this. Now I'm going to have to limp around with that or whatever. So that does kind of make it like that. But, I mean, if you're going to go all out with something like that, I think they should throw in a little more options than... And maybe it is like this, right, but from only what we've seen, but all he did was really throw on a bandage, and it's like, all right, that hole in my leg's good to go. Let's get back out.
Yeah, you start to get back up, and now you can kind of start trotting around. The other
it's
feature,
cool though. I do like the damage.
Yeah, I thought it was a really interesting system, and I'm sure once we see more of it, it's gonna look a lot or play at least a lot cooler. The other one that they're kind of showing off is the terrain and the stamina. So they're actually showing that if you're running uphill, every game, obviously, your character runs slower, but, like, they're making it more... It's going to affect your character. You're going to start running slower
it's like realistic,
after you run up the hill. So you're still going to have an endurance bar. You're going to be... they're kind of getting the landscape, because I know you can go to, like, there's volcanoes, there's going to be snow, there's going to be some tundra and stuff like that, so...
Yeah, it's just like a big... it's like a geodome, I guess, would be the best term for it. It's got every sort of geological thing you would want, like snow, a jungle, there's like a swamp, all these things that would never be together.
Right.
They're just kind of all in this one landscape, which, I mean, I don't care. Like, that's a cool map to me. I like having a little bit of everything, so...
Yeah, I think it's interesting, and it's going to be cool to see if they can do all of them well, because there might be the one or two landscapes that we're looking at and go, oh, well, this one plays like shit. I'd rather play on this level every time because this one sucks, but... it's going to be interesting to see if they can actually do it, so...
I'm more so stoked for the diversity of it as far as, like, maybe what works in a swamp. Like, maybe you might be able to, like, sneak and crawl through, like, swamp water or whatever. Might not work as well in the snow to where you're more trying to run from cover to cover, tree to tree or something like that versus, whatever.
The other thing they're introducing is the word that I had a really hard time pronouncing, the bivouac.
Bivouac.
The bivouac. And this essentially is the point of the game where your character can rest up. It's like a camp area to where you can start crafting items. You can meet up with other characters. You can change your skins. Is that something that's
pretty much just a big resting point? I mean, it's the same as like anything else, I guess. Right? Like Metal Gear, you have the helicopter where that gives bivouac. I can guarantee you right now, though, and I hope that it doesn't
catch on like wildfire.
That I don't have to hear the word bivouac like 80 times in that game, because I can already tell that would be a word like O'Driscoll, or Shadow of War, the Palantir, the Palantir. If I have to hear bivouac like more than 3 times, I'm gonna mute it.
Right. I mean, but it's a cool feature that, like, again, isn't groundbreaking. It's just, like, it's cool that it's in there because other games offer something very similar to
I like the idea of, like, you don't have to leave this world now. You don't have to go back to, like, a base to change up all your stuff or whatever.
Right, set up
camp. It's always nice just to be able to do it. Set up shop right there and just do whatever it is you got to do.
The other thing I was reading is they were saying that you can actually change now the time of day. So when you're at the camp, you can change it to, like, an evening setting if you want to do the mission at night. Or you can change it to a day setting if you want the light.
Well, that'd always be pretty cool, too. I mean, that's just... And again, if I had to compare it to something like Metal Gear, you get the cigar that if you want to, you smoke it, and then you can, take this place on at, like, dusk or, midnight where it's pitch black and stuff like that.
It's, again, they're not doing anything that's crazy, but these little things are cool, and I think anyone that's a fan of Ghost Recon is going to like these things.
Yeah, I think it stacks up to, like, a lot of just different opportunities, and just...
it's more options for things.
Yeah, the diversity is really where it seems like it's at for this game.
The other one that caught my eye that I think is cool is, and we were talking about earlier, is the buddy carry system. So when your friend or you get injured or you're down, instead of someone running up and trying to heal you and potentially taking incoming fire and dying themselves, they can now just throw you over their back, run to a cover, put you down, and do a heal. I thought that was cool. I don't know, are there many other games that offer something similar to that?
I thought you could do something else with that. I think maybe in like Battlefield 5. I don't know because I didn't play it enough because I didn't like Battlefield 5. But I thought there was like another game where you could do something like that, where you can move somebody.
Or at least drag somebody, right?
Before you heal them, And
so I think it's cool for you. I mean, I think that's awesome. You got to throw them up, you got to move out, you got to actually pick some cover. You don't have to get bombed on by everybody. So
I think that's going to be sort of the biggest draw for this game. I mean, I don't know how many people. I'm sure it'll be good single player, but I feel like really you're going to have a lot of fun playing this game like multiplayer. Like it's a game I can see playing with you or Gino.
Yeah, I got to save your ass
like
again. Yeah, I see a lot of good shit talking happening there.
Either way, it's going to be like a lot of fun, especially coming at it from like all these different angles. Like they had some of the options in there where they set it up with like the different drones to where you sink it and then everyone starts shooting at the same time to kind of try and take everyone out like all at once really quick, or at least get rid of the bigger threats.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's going to be more the meat and bones of that.
The meat and the bones, he says. One of the other features that they're offering is now prone blending. So essentially what that is your character is on the ground crawling, you see someone coming, you can kind of adapt, get yourself with mud or something like that. You can kind of blend in more with the surroundings. Again, it's nothing groundbreaking, but it's a cool feature to have.
Tomb Raider just did that.
Yeah, Tomb Raider offers something like that, which you put some mud on it and goes against the wall. So that's cool. And then the other thing, and this is kind of going to be what the main game revolves around, is the advanced AI. The enemy is going to be, from what they're saying, extremely clever. They're going to be working together. It's not just going to be random dorks walking around checking stuff. You know, it's these guys are actually, if they notice something's happening, they're gonna start functioning as a team to go after you. And in any tactical squad-based game, I feel like that's a good challenge, right? I mean, the game gets
that's always cool.
harder,
like,
but in a natural way.
It's weird. It's always weird to think like, okay, I killed this guy. Is no one checking in?
Nobody
with him,
heard that fucking gunshot.
Even so, no one's checking in 10 minutes later, 20 minutes later around the perimeter. Like, all right, he's just not checking in. Like, all right.
Yeah, I tell you he did.
Yeah, I tell you he did.
So that's cool. Advanced AIs, I mean, obviously most games are going to move in that direction, but it's cool that Ghost Recon's kind of focusing on that. And then the last little thing, again, nothing crazy, is the adaptive cover. And it's kind of the same thing, you know, when you're hiding from tree to tree,
just
when you're using your landscape.
Stuff, yeah.
So those are kind of the new features that they're offering and what this game's going to have. The other cool thing that they're doing is that the game is completely single player, or you can play it in a up to 4-player co-op. How does that strike? Is that a cool concept?
I mean, that's always a good option out there, because I know there's tons of people out there who just love playing games front to back by themselves.
And that's like me. That's the way I like it.
You know, so I know you're more of like a single player person, depending on what the game is. So, I mean, more options is always better.
Right. And the cool thing is I guess in the last game, Wildlands, is when you were playing the campaign, if you were playing it by yourself, your team was AI. So you had to have somebody following with you, whether it was a person or the computer. Now they want to make it to where when you're playing single player, you are by yourself, because the premise of the actual game is that you're crash landing into this the island. I think it's called Aurora, and what was the company called? It was like Skull or Skell or something like that. They've been developing this AI. So essentially, what's happened is former Ghost members have now gone rogue, and they're now calling themselves the Wolves.
John Bernthal.
John Bernthal, dude.
Yeah, John Bernthal.
He's leading the Wolves, and so that's the premise of it. And
I think he looked pretty good, and I'm not.
Oh, he looked great, dude. He looked dead on. Dude.
Yeah, I'm not one for like whoever. I'm not one for let's put this celebrity in this game because they're a big name. But I felt like he fit in that world. Like I thought he looked really cool, and I don't know about his delivery. We'll see. But
his quote at the end when he's just like, "I wouldn't expect anything less," or something along those lines. I was just like, God damn, Bernthal.
Yeah,
what can't you do?
I thought it was pretty sick.
Yeah, so it's cool because the way they were trying to explain it is in this campaign is when you're crash landing, they want you to feel like you are by yourself. So if you're not playing with a co-op actual person, there is no AI because they want you to feel that like you are now being the hunted is essentially the premise. So what single player is going to focus on is you get these drones. They're going to kind of help you out. They're going to map you out. They're going to count essentially as your team, which is better than nothing. But I like that whole concept. Let me play this game if I want to by myself, and it feels like I'm the hunted, and I think it's a really cool concept.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too. I always like the idea of like a cat and mouse like scenario, and that it could be flipped over. And I mean, it'd be really cool just to not feel like I'm just crazy overpowered and I can't just go in guns a blazing. That if the stuff does turn, they're gonna hunt me down now,
right? And
now I'm just running through all these things trying to hide and stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, when one badass meets another badass, is like, what's gonna happen? So the game looks pretty dope. One thing that before we wrap it up on this is, they said that there's gonna be dialogue options. So it sounds like maybe there's gonna be multiple endings if you can choose which path you're going to go on, or how do you take that? If you hear that there's, like, what's like Call of Duty, there's never a dialogue option, or has there ever been in a game like that?
Not that I can think of.
Or in Halo or anything like that, I can't think. So I'm curious of what that's going to end game it with in terms of a dialogue option. Like, where does that put you? What's the point of it?
I'm sure it'll probably just be some like story.
You think it's just flavor?
maybe you'll try to win the guy back, or be like, it'll be like, what are you doing?
John Bernthal, you're on the wrong side here, fella.
Maybe it'll be like Fallout, and it'll be like, cuss him out, and he'll be like, you're a scallywag. Like, just, hopefully it's not something terrible like
or
that.
It gives you an option, and then what you say is completely fucking different from what it actually is.
Dude,
I never get that. It's like, why are you not just saying what the option is? Like, why is it a whole new sentence that mimics, I guess, what that was?
Yeah, and it could be completely wrong way. It's like, tell them your feelings, and you think it's love, and it's like, I really hate you, you know?
Yeah, get fucked for us.
Oh, yeah, now I gotta quit out the game, because that's not what I meant. Reload the damn thing.
I'm out. So, Ghost Recon, guys, more to come is something just popped up. Overall, Andrew, what do you think? Is it a game that you're looking forward to? Is it on your radar? Or is it, when I see more, I'll make a better guess?
I see it's on the radar. I'm not hype or anything for it, but I will definitely be checking it out a lot more than what I would have before. Yeah. And I kind of like that they put something out now versus E3 when there's like a million different things, you know, coming out.
It's kind of getting ahead of the curve here.
So and I like too that they're doing the same thing that other games are doing now, and a lot of them are kind of following this trend, which I think is better, is these short cycles of hype versus I'm seeing this game for 2 or 3 years. When is it coming out?
Which we'll get into a little bit later on some other games.
Yeah. That one I'll give a pass. But
the other thing I wanted to do before we moved on from it was just I didn't realize that Ghost Recon came back out in 2001. Like, this is a franchise that's been out for almost 20 years. So
it's got like 16 games, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's 16 games in this series, and I thought that was kind of cool. I didn't realize it was around for that long. I'm glad that it is. I'm glad that it's healthy, and I'm glad that what it's introducing is going to keep Ghost Recon fans on there. So my verdict would be, again, it's on the radar. I don't think it stands out just yet, but that trailer just didn't really do anything for me. But once we see new footage and maybe some better gameplay, maybe it'll be the game that we jump on and do a nice co-op game.
Yeah, I would like that. I will say that I don't think it wasn't a game I was expecting to drop since the last one just came out in like 2017.
Yeah.
Not that it did bad or anything like that, but I felt like it was a little soon because I still haven't even got like another Tom Clancy, which is a Rainbow Six, game, and that one I think came out at like the start of the console generation, if I'm not mistaken. That's been out for a while.
Yeah,
but that one's also been a lot longer of a service, and so I mean that's a completely different formula. But still, I just wasn't expecting something like that so soon. But I don't think it's something that's crazy oversaturated out there either. There's nothing really like it.
So, guys, what do you think? Did you think Ghost Recon BREAKPOINT is a good fucking name? Because I think it's stupid. But what do you think of the footage? What do you think of the gameplay? Leave your comments in there. Let us know. We'll talk about it. We'll have a conversation. But moving on, Andrew, there was a little thing called the State of Play.
An incident.
There was an incident for PlayStation that was on the 9th. So, that was a splatter, sir. I am in the splash zone up here.
So that really went everywhere.
This guy, he hears it all the time.
That was half a beer right now.
So, State of Play essentially is kind of like a showcase of what Sony will do with a couple of games that are coming out for the system. It wasn't that long. I think it was 13 minutes, maybe, give or take.
I kind of like some small stuff like that, too.
I didn't mind it at all. I thought it was a short little burst of something. It's nothing I got to wait around all day for to watch this big gap, but it only had a few trailers, and the first one to lead it off, Andrew, was Monster Hunter World Iceborne. It was probably one of the bigger trailers out of the bunch. I haven't played Monster Hunter. I just downloaded it actually yesterday. Andrew, you've played it. You've beaten it. How's the game run? Does Iceborne look good?
I loved it, and it was my first real Monster Hunter. I'd played one on the Wii before with my friends, and I kind of started a character and played for like a bit, but it wasn't... didn't make it past like 2 or 3 like main monsters.
4?
I don't know which one that was, dude. It was so long.
Out of thought, out of mind.
Dude, that was a long time ago. So I mean, that game's been around forever too. But this one being the first one that I ever really delved into, just went like all the way through. I absolutely loved it. Like, it's a beautiful, beautiful game to start. Like, the game graphically, I think is gorgeous. I think there's a lot of diversity in the creatures, and I like that. There's not like 150 creatures or anything crazy like that, but I felt like there was just enough to where like they're all different. There's different ways to take them on. Some of them are kind of a little bit similar to the other, but I mean that's part of the flavor to it, to where now we can focus on, you're running from area to area and you might see 2 monsters fighting, and maybe that's your place to jump in.
Or like that.
Sometimes I'm running from something and I'll try and lead it into a den where I know something else is, or I could lose it or whatever. So I really like that a lot, and I still have it. I have it digitally. that I actually might pick this up because I thought it was really cool, and I personally love like snow maps.
Because there is no snow in the original one, right? That's kind of what this pack is.
The other one's on like it's in like a big lush forest jungle, and then like kind of like a volcanic-y area or anything, and a desert, but nothing snow-wise like that.
So I think that's based alone on terrain, we're gonna see new creatures. There's got to be new things that obviously
there's like a snow moose looking kind of thing, or like a goat
everything
or something.
We saw in the trailer looked badass.
So either way, I feel like they've been like really supporting the game really good. They even did some link ups with like Final Fantasy where you hunt like a behemoth.
Oh, that's awesome!
And so I mean they've done all kinds of really good stuff with the game.
Been doing really good with their games, and I mean this just looks like
I do want to give a shout out to Capcom because they just seem to be like knocking out of the park with everything lately. They're showing good support for that. Resident Evil 2 was a smash. Then they were even they hinted at like Resident Evil 3. So it seems like they're kind of just really listening to what people want and kind of just throwing it out there, And I'm all for it.
He's all for it. That game, guys, it comes out September 6th, 2019. So, or the DLC for it. So look for that. The next game that they showed was a game called Riverbond. That was it's a destructive dungeon crawler.
I really thought it was like a Minecraft style game or something like that first from the graphic wise.
I've never been a fan of Minecraft. I don't think it looks good. I know there's other people that love it. I know there's other people I know that used to hate it.
I don't think it looks good. Yeah.
This game, if this was Minecraft, using the same kind of graphics, this game looks good to me.
I think it looked pretty fun, especially I felt like I haven't had very many co-op games that I play lately besides like PUBG or like my shooters that I would like to branch out and do something different. So like a little dungeon crawler or something like that.
I like the graphics. Cool. I like the way it looked. I like the way you can just go through, smash it. It reminded me of different kind of gameplay, but like Castle Crashers. A good little game. You jump like on and just fuck shit up, run through it. So that game's coming out, guys. Summer. They didn't give it an actual date, but by the time this video goes up, maybe they did. But summer, look for that. The next game, Andrew, I know you were looking forward to this, is Predator Hunting Grounds. Talk to me about it.
I thought it looked pretty cool. So they didn't really show too much, but they went into detail afterwards. So basically, it's like a asymmetrical multiplayer game, which is like Evolve or like Friday the 13th, where one person's a predator, and then you have these other players that are hunting down the one person. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how well it'll do, because I felt like Friday the 13th, I mean, I think it sold like okay.
You're just coming off of playing Friday the 13th. So.
Yeah, I still played. I have fun, but that game's like very half-baked because it also wasn't like a AAA game, or it didn't have like substantial backing, I don't feel. But we also, what happened with Evolve, that game totally crashed and burned and like ruined the company. Yep, so yep. I mean, hopefully it's nothing like that. This could be the one that maybe really catches what it means to get in, get out, and have that sort of fun, and maybe catch that fire and make that genre big.
Well, aren't they working more with Sony on this one, like directly? Because this is a Sony exclusive, unlike Friday the 13th that kind of jumped around to all the platforms. This is Sony exclusive. So if you've got a PlayStation, this game I would definitely say check out, because that's what I remember. I don't know if they said it or that's what I was reading.
I think I saw it afterwards and said it is.
So that kind of puts a lot more faith in this game for me, because I liked Friday the 13th, but it had its problems. If they can take what they learned from that and then just improve on it, I think this is
because that'd be
much a winner.
That'd be a badass Predator.
Who did you play as? You trying to kill the Predator, or are you hunting?
Oh, I love being the Predator, but I think it'd be really cool to be that underpowered person, because I do like being the camp counselors in Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
like if that game wasn't so fucking like janky and like had its like loading problems, like with lengthwise trying to get from match to match, like that game would be like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it would have been more received than what it was. But
I will say I hope there's more than one place though, because they only showed the jungle. Oh, and realistically, I wouldn't just.
You want the concrete jungle? When they come to New York?
Yeah, because that's my big gripe about Friday the 13th is like it's all just at these campsites. Like you could have taken me like Manhattan or like an abandoned, somewhere else where Jason's killing people. The spaceship, for Christ's sake, and like Jason X. Like either way, it's like get as long as they launch, I would say with some quantity and quality both. You got to have both there. Then they should be fine. Because I feel like that's sort of been a lot of the bigger things with these asymmetrical ones, is that when they launch, there's just not enough there. It's like a repetitive map. Right. When you're doing the same thing over and over, you either are the killer or you're not. So that just kind of gets a little boring, just being in the same area over and over and over. As if you can give me like a good 8 launch areas just to start with, just different areas, because that's the thing. The Predator could be anywhere. You don't just have to make it, South America. that's someone that could exist in China. It could be like on a Chinese map, something.
Anywhere. And I'm curious of how they're going to implement the heat vision and like the invisibility. Like, is that going to be a cooldown and you can, tap it and kind of do it to sneak up?
I think the invisibility will last longer, but I think maybe some of the other stuff might be like probably like a cooldown or something like that. Either way, I mean, I'm excited to see gameplay of it. Like, actually really see some gameplay. Because
all it is a quick, tight little tidbit of a couple guys walking in the forest.
A teaser at best, and that's
the invisibility kind of floating. So
a teaser, and that's that's a very generous word.
They were definitely just giving us a morsel of that. So that, guys, is coming out in 2020. So we're gonna get a ton more about that coming up. The other one that I thought was kind of a cute little remake is the Medieval remake. And Andrew, you remember playing this game on PlayStation when it originally came out?
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. Like, what are your memories of this game?
My memory of it is I kind of remember getting stuck in it. I kind of remember the first or second level being stuck and be like, where the fuck am I with this thing? But I don't know, maybe my dad helped me beat it, and eventually I got farther and played it. It was a good game.
I did either. I rented this game.
Oh, okay.
Because this is when Blockbuster is like still a thing and all that, and so I didn't have a PlayStation. I didn't have a PlayStation at my mom's house, so when I go to my dad's, he had a PlayStation, and we would go and rent a couple games or just do whatever. So I remember, I think I picked this one up with like a Gauntlet or something like that or whatever. And I think we ended up playing Gauntlet a lot more, but I know that I played it, and I remember it being kind of cool, but. Yeah, I'll tell you what I like. I like that it's like a dormant name that hasn't been around forever, just to get like a revamp, give it some love and just really see how it does. And who knows, maybe it'll lead to something, like the Crash Bandicoot.
I was just going to say, I think it's coming out at a perfect time where games just like Crash, just like Spyro are coming out, and it's those games where you can go collect coins and you can collect items to build your health bar up and you can collect weapons. I think we don't have enough of those anymore. I don't
know if this game would be coming out if Spyro
or
like...
I'm with you on that.
Not saying that they're even the same kind of gameplay, but just these blasts from the past games, like seeing how well they're doing.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe it could always lead to something
It's an odd title to pick to, because like most gamers will recognize, at least of a certain age, will recognize Spyro, will recognize Crash. Not everybody remembers Dan the Knight from Medieval.
Yeah.
It's an odd title that they chose. But I think it fits perfectly with these other two big successes that we just had, because I think it plays somewhat similar, and I think anyone that was playing Spyro or Crash is going to recognize this game, and I think it looks pretty fun.
I think it'll be pretty badass. They gave it a date finally, didn't they?
Yeah, it's coming out October 25th, so that's coming out fall, and
that'll be pretty cool too. For that,
I'll probably actually day one that thing. I think I'll probably give it
that style of that style of game, like the setting of it right there with Halloween. That'll be a pretty cool, like spooky little game.
What do you think a game
out
like that would cost? Because Crash and Spyro aren't $60 games, right?
I think they were both like $40.
You think that's a $40 game?
I don't know how long the original is. I would have to look up how long the original is and stuff.
But even if it's compared to Spyro, where you're getting 3 games, I mean, it can't be meatier than that. I wouldn't think an old PlayStation game would be as big as 3 other PlayStation games.
Oh, well, apparently Final Fantasy VII's bigger than anything ever combined.
Whoa.
But I don't know. I would say like maybe like $30.
Okay, yeah, I would say anywhere between 30-40 would be. It'd be odd if it was any higher than 30. That, I think.
I would say 30 to 20, not 30 to 40, because it is just one game, and I don't imagine that game, being longer than like a Spyro or a Crash. But then again, Crash and Spyro are also meant to be like run through, like Spyro or not Spyro. Crash, you're literally on a one-way track, you're just being level. So
nice. The other game that really caught my eye, and I think. I don't know if you said if you were looking forward to it or not, was Away Survival
I thought it looked kind of lame.
Did you?
I'll sit this one out.
Man.
Tell them all about it.
So, and again, I think it's a breath of fresh air because it's a game that's not like other games that you see. I'm not even sure what the fucking thing is. It's like a winged squirrel or whatever the fuck you would call it.
A sugar glider?
A sugar glider of sorts.
I don't know.
Essentially this thing, you're just this little mammal that's living in this world, and there's active creatures around you. So there's snakes, there's scorpions, there's spiders, there's birds. And essentially, you're traversing this world, and I don't know if it's supposed to be like natural incidents happen with like forest fires and weather come down, or if it's part of a story that you're following. So I'm not 100% sure how that's going to work out, but graphically, I think it looks cool. The premise, I think, is it's a cool concept that you get to survive in this world where you're a small animal and there's deer running around. So I don't know. I think it looks good. There's something about it that catches my eye.
Not to mention,
it looks charming.
It's not just that you're a small animal. You're clearly a non-violent animal at that.
I think wasn't there a scene where he was scratching something?
It looked like it might have been like a little cricket or something like that. But I mean,
he's killing Jiminy over here.
I guess so. Either way, it definitely looks like something that shouldn't be killing things. So
yeah. Well, I mean, even at the base though, it's got some sort of I guess it would be more defense than offense. It's got teeth and nails to defend itself. It's not going out of its way to attack anything. So
I don't know about that.
Hey, you know what, guys? We will see. We'll find out. That game actually has not had an announcement date. It's to be announced. So when we know more about it, we'll let you guys know. But the reason we are here is because, like most of you, I've lost faith in a lot of things. And I was holding on to a little game called Final Fantasy VII Remake. And how many E3s ago did we hear about this?
I think it's been like 2 or 3.
It's been years since we've heard about this thing, and I thought it was just done. Final Fantasy VII, if you do not know, is my favorite game.
News that came out about it, like they had to like scrap it with the studio, or they had to bring in like another studio.
They were hiring people left and right to start from scratch on certain things. So this game has just been surrounded in nonsense, and everything pointed to it not coming out, even though for as much footage as they actually had in gameplay testing.
I'll tell you this: if you're excited to play the first 5 minutes of that game, boy, do I have something to show you, because the first 5 minutes sure do exist. It's been the 4th time I've seen it.
All you get.
Yeah.
So as much as we are excited that they're saying that it is still coming, hang in there, guys. What Andrew's saying, they didn't show us anything more than what we saw 3 years ago. So what have you been doing? What's going on?
I'm like such a sucker for it though, because I instantly fell in love with that trailer.
It looks good,
especially when Aerith like gets in your face. She's like, "Oh, I have this for you." And
yeah,
it's like that scene. I was like, "Oh man, I cannot wait."
Yeah.
Like spoilers. Like I won't even
spoilers.
We'll start the trend now to where you cannot spoil this game anymore, even though it is an old game, because there's probably a ton of people. But if whatever happens, based off that scene, like I would cry.
Dude,
because her personality is
based off the scene.
Yeah, based off that. The scene. Just based off of what I've seen so far, like,
and you know how good it's gonna look.
Like I kind of was a little worried because they're dissecting it and they're making it into episodic, whatever that means. Whether that be 1, 2, or 3, who
based
knows?
On like the disc.
Yeah, I didn't really feel that there was that much. There's a lot of content in that original game, but I don't know enough to make 3 games like Final Fantasy 13, which I hate all 3 of them. So hopefully they don't lose the heart along the way. But based off of like just that little tidbit though, like that was total heart for me. Like I didn't feel like it was watered down or anything like that. Like that right there, what I saw was like, I was like, oh, okay, that's the Final Fantasy VII that I want. So I'm kind of, I don't want to be on the hype train, but I'm on the hype train.
Yeah, I think everything about it looks awesome. The fighting looks good. And a lot of people are griping like, oh, how come it's not the old turn-based RPG combat? Well, if you want that, guess what? The Final Fantasy VII original game is on every fucking platform. You can play it on the Switch. You can play it on Xbox. So I have no qualms or quarrels about them rebuilding it like a Final Fantasy 15, a Final Fantasy 12 style where we're running around and doing it. So
I think they do awesome. Keep some of the old stuff though. So like I hope Cloud's standing there and the people are talking, and when you're done talking, they just like walk into you and disappear.
That'd be funny, but I highly doubt it. But that essentially is it, guys. There was a couple of those trailers. Let us know what you guys think about each of them. Obviously, we're big fans of Final Fantasy VII. I've got Final Fantasy VII shoes. I've got a section of Final Fantasy VII in my game room. That was the biggest thing that I took away from this. What did you guys take away from it? Andrew, what did you take away from it? Was Final Fantasy VII the butter? Or...
I felt like that was the whole reason for the state of play. And it wasn't even so, it was just to say, even though everyone knew it was coming, keep an eye out for June, because E3, Squeenix has their...
Oh, they took the PlayStation
slot.
They
have the PlayStation time slot now.
Which is prime royalty.
And Kingdom Hearts 3 is out, and before they clearly said, we're not doing anything more with Final Fantasy VII until Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out. The only other game they have that they could remotely talk about, I think that would be big, would be like that Avengers game that was kind of talked about a little bit that we haven't seen anything
what's going on
which I don't know why they haven't
this
said
thing feels like it got dusted.
Yeah, because the movie right now is absolutely killing it. It's like one of the highest, it is the highest grossing of all time, isn't it?
I believe it passed it. I haven't checked numbers today because I've just been doing this.
I want to say it just did. So of all the times, I don't know why you wouldn't be talking about, hey, we also have this Avengers game that's coming out now.
They set you up to bat. They tossed you a softball and you missed out. You didn't knock a home run by giving us the game. Unless the game is just severely not ready, right? Unless there's something holding it back to where it's like, why would we release this game when this movie is doing awesome if the game sucks?
Right. So either way, I mean, those would really be the only two big things I could see. I can think of coming from them would be, Final Fantasy VII Remake and that Avengers game, which, I mean, that's more than enough for a company like that. Those games would be...
I'm excited about all of those.
Those games would sell massive numbers, I would imagine.
Big. So that is it for the two stories. But before we leave, Andrew, you want to riff on anything? Is anything on your mind?
Oh, why don't you start us off with the riff? Because I know you had one.
I am a huge God of War fan. I've beaten every one of them except the ones that you play on PSP because I never had one. And we didn't even know it even came out. The God of War documentary, Raising Kratos, just came out. I just started watching. I'm like 30 minutes into it. It's a 2-hour documentary. It shows that it came out like 20 hours ago. So starting off, it kind of starts slow. It really gets into this we gotta revamp this game. But I'm only 20 minutes in. It started getting good. When it starts going to behind the scenes and all the way they were motion capturing the kid.
That stuff was really cool.
So, I don't know. If anyone was curious about it, if anybody wanted to watch it, if anybody is a God of War fan, this just came out. So, you are hearing it here that it is out. So, if you were curious about it, go check it out.
Yeah, definitely go peep that for sure.
As soon as we're done with this, that's what I'm putting on and that's what I'm watching.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll do.
Hey, what's on your mind?
I don't know if I have a big riff, but just as far as the thought goes, I'm actually really excited for E3 this year.
Even without Sony?
Even without Sony, I feel like Sony will have their own thing. They really don't have to do anything right now, but
they don't do shit.
I'm just more excited to see what everyone else is doing is the big thing. We don't know, hopefully about the Final Fantasy VII. We don't know what Xbox is doing.
And Xbox is Microsoft saying this is going to be their best E3. I mean, obviously, everyone's going to say that any year, but with all the first-party developers they just purchased and all that stuff, I'm really looking forward to what
it's a month away from... Actually, it's less than a month away now at this point, too. So
we're in the end game now.
Yeah, so that's on my mind for a riff. That's what I'm a little more occupied with, is I think that I'm just ready to set a day. We'll save that for another episode. Let's do a prediction.
This guy wants to do more episodes.
We can get there. I mean, if we can crank out 7, there's no reason we can't get 8.
Oh, well, Final Fantasy 8 is coming soon, so should we start naming them after video games?
We could do something.
So let's just jump into highs and lows, and we'll kind of make this a quicker episode. Andrew, highs and lows. I'll let you start. You want to do vegetables or dessert first?
I will say that I really don't have a low, which is nice highs. To say. Yeah, all
highs. That's a good week. That's a good thing.
Everything I've been playing lately has been good. I finished Sekiro, finally did 100% on it.
Oh, God, I've been waiting for that.
And so it took it didn't take a lifetime, but that final just grinding really sucked. But I'm really glad to be done with it, and I really had a lot of fun with that game. And then now that I've moved on I went back and I'm trying Star Wars Battlefront 2 now. I'm having fun playing the game. I don't think it's a phenomenal game by any means. The fucking loading times, I'm pretty sure, Christ was on the crucifix less times than it takes this game to load.
That's a very bold statement.
It takes a lifetime to load anything on this game, forever. So maybe that's my lows. I'm just loading my life away on this game. But either way, it's just fun now to pick up something easy and just cruise through, because that's really what I needed after that.
Nice.
What you got going on?
So I was actually influenced by you. Okay, so I have 2 highs. One of them is I kick myself every time I do this, that it takes me so long to play a game that I should have played fucking day one, is I've been playing Titanfall 2. And you told me to play it.
Yeah, how you enjoying it?
Loving every second of it.
It's just a nice cruise through game.
I hate that it didn't get more attention. And the funny thing is, that's what everybody says about it when I talk to them about it. They're like, yeah, this game was great. Just nobody talked about it because it was, I think, wedged between a Call of Duty that year or a Rainbow Six.
Yeah, I
think
something. That and a Battlefield or something.
Something like that.
I would have to look it up, but I know that it was definitely wedged and pretty much sent out to. All right, here. Yeah. Let's see how you do.
So when I'm playing it though, because I've had my Xbox One controller for a while, my guy was doing the ghost strafe where I'm not touching it and he's just slowly moving. So I was like, all right, fuck it, I got to go to GameStop and go get a new controller. So I pack up 2 old controllers. I take it down there and I grab the
Phantom Black.
The Phantom Black controller. So Andrew had the white one. I saw it. Well, how long ago did you get it? A couple weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
And I felt it looked good. Played awesome.
I like the grip a lot more. It doesn't feel like that normal plastic. It feels kind of weird, but it feels like I'm not slipping all over the place with it. So
yeah. So I grabbed that, and it's been a blast. I've been playing Titanfall, and it is awesome. Yeah, my low would have just been that I had to trade in 2 controllers because they were starting to go out, but...
I'm sure you've had them for... stick drift. That's what they call that.
Stick drift, yeah. I always called it ghost strafe because you're just guys moving, not doing shit.
I got that really bad when I think Dark Souls 2 came out because I could not fucking kick. And I was the king of kicking in one.
I remember you saying
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, I cannot get past these shield enemies because I can't fucking kick. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know if I just lost it or what happened, but I could not do it. And then eventually I was playing Halo and I set my controller down. I noticed my guy drifting. And I was like, what the hell is that?
What the fuck is this?
And then I could notice if I pull the stick out or whatever. So yeah, after that I went and got a new one. I realized it was a big thing. Did a little bit of online research, but it'll get you.
It is. Well, but the original thing I wanted to go get the Elite controller, but they didn't have the Elite controller, so I saved myself $80 or so when I got the Phantom Black. So.
And you couldn't buy me dinner?
I thought I got you a beer. All right, guys. Well, on that note, guys, if you want to check us out on Instagram, follow us at Last Call Productions. If you want to check us out on Twitter, follow us at Last Call, PRODZ, Last Call Prods. And if you guys have any emails, if you want to question us, give us a shout at lastcallproductions@gmail.com. So that is it for this episode, guys.
Oh, don't forget. I think besides this episode, there's only 2 more. Is it 2 more?
The contest is coming to a close, guys. And there's been quite a few of you guys actually entering it. So this is the last episode to enter, I believe.
I thought the next one was.
No, 8 is the last episode to enter,
okay.
And then we'll announce the winner on the next one. So you guys got 2 more episodes to watch. If you guys are interested in getting Borderlands 3, write in the comment, #Borderlands 3, and name the system of your choice. So this episode has come to a close. I had a blast chatting with you guys. My name's Craig Perales, for Andrew Montemayor. Until next time, guys.
See ya. So, if you made your way here, you're a fan of either one of 3 things. A, free shit. B, Borderlands. Or C, just me and Craig. Although, I kind of doubt it. Either way, we're doing a contest where we're going to give away a copy of Borderlands 3 to, anyone out there watching, provided a few stipulations, of course. How can you enter? I'm going to go over that right now. And of course, it's going to be in the description down below in case I go too fast, I mumble, whatever the deal is. So technically, the competition started on episode 3, which was last week. It's going to run until our 8th episode, which is going to end on the 22nd, I believe, is when it ends. So, what you have to do is be subscribed, leave a like, and leave a comment. In your comment, it could be whatever you want to. Tell me I suck. Who cares? As long as at the end, you put #Borderlands 3, so that way we know that that's what you're entering for. Now again, you can put that on a video. So let's say episode 3, that gets you 1 entry into the contest. Episode 4 will get you another entry, so on and so forth. So you're going to have a total chances of 6 times that you can enter this thing to try and, win. The other kind of rules, very basic stuff. A, we're only going to ship to the US. This is our first thing we're doing. We're not crazy big yet. We don't know all that stuff. We want to make sure it's actually going to get there. So, there it is. If you live in the US, this one's for you. 2, or B, I don't know why I said that, is going to be that we aren't anyone special. We don't get the game before release date, so neither are you. We are not going to ship the game until we actually get it the day of. So day and date, we're going to go pick it up, run it down to the post office. We'll send it to you anywhere in the United States. Probably overnight it, maybe even. Get it to you as fast as possible. And, that's pretty much it. That's all you got to do. Few basic rules. And then, of course, we're going to announce the winner on the 24th, I believe. So either way, this one's for you.
Throw it away. Like, I've been trying to use it, so I won it up like 3 times, so I'm like, alright, this will work.
No, because it sucks, even if you wad it up.
That's why I don't go fucking toilet paper shopping.
I feel bad. I'm that kind of person too sometimes. Like, even if especially with food, I'm like, oh, this sucks, but I already paid for it, so I'm just going to eat it out of spite now, so I'm not wasting. I don't feel like I'm wasting my money. Yeah. But I'm telling you right now, throwing that away, like, will do yourself a bigger favor.
At this point.
That's an investment, like a healthy fucking colon.
Yeah. Dude, I swear, I was like, oh, well, yeah, it looks pretty solid. It looks like solid stuff.
Dude,
they don't even have napkins that thin.
Christina usually buys toilet paper, and so when I went to the store the other day, like that was my first. I was like, "Fuck, I want to end up like Craig." I was like, "Do I get double or do I get triple?"
Dude, quad fucking ply from here on up for me. As thick as it gets.
Fuck, dude. Jam up your toilet every 5 minutes.
Dude, every wipe's a flush, baby.
I just got the double, and the double sufficed.
Oh yeah, double. Double's better than fucking whatever that is.
Yeah.
Like, when you can see through it, it's not good.